Happy Friday, everyone! I'm back in my Hawaiian Grand Prix toy box with Stitch, and today I'm going to continue placing the terrain in and around my racetrack. I'm hoping to get most of the terrain in today, and then next week I'll finish up the build exercise for this toy box. And we're going to begin over here in this corner next to the bridge. And we're going to finish up this little section that I wasn't able to finish up last time. We're going to put in 2 blocks like this, and one right here like that. And then we're going to come over and pick up this little piece, but I'm not going to put that one down. We're going to scroll over to the right and put this little corner piece in here like that. And then we'll put this piece in this corner here like this. And then we'll put some straight edges in to finish this off and fill in the gaps. So that piece will go there like that. And over here, we're going to put this piece in here with a small piece there. And a couple of small pieces there. And one of the things you'll note as you're coming off of the edge of this is we got kind of a little hole here in the cliff face, and that's because previously I had just had a solid block under here and I didn't need anything else. But we're going to go ahead and pick up this piece of track, and I don't think I want to use the next size bigger because that's a little too far. So we're going to go ahead and put down that piece, and we'll put down one more smaller piece, but I have to retheme this. And again, we're using the toy box roads. I'll set that to be my theme. And we'll put down one little piece of track on the edge of it right there. And that way, that looks a little bit better, I think. Okay, and with that, we're done on this end of the toy box. We have enough filled in over here. So now we're going to come over and continue building over here. And one more time, I'm going to pick this piece up, put it down to get into that part of the drawer. And we're going to put down a row of these and cover up this gap on side of that track like that. And let me just grab my screenshot here to make sure. Yeah. And then one more time, go back to the other end of the drawer by picking that piece up, putting it down, and we're going to put this wide and short canyon wall on the end. And there we are. And with that down, go ahead and pick this up, put it down to get back to the other part of the drawer. With that down now, we'll build the hill that the mines roll down. And I'm going to put this first piece down here right next to the bottom edge of the ramp. So right at that seam where the Y connects with the ramp going upward is where we'll put the first block. And then we're going to scroll over 4 to the left and pick up this taller version. And I'm going to drop down 3 of these, which will get us to the top of the hill. And you can see that lines up right there with the seam at the top of the hill and that Y. And with that, we can go to the next size larger and put this right in here, right up against these blocks, just like that. So we have a little bit of a gap down there, but that's all right. Nobody's going to see that. And then we're going to put another one of these right over here, like this. And I'm just double checking my notes. Yep. And then we'll scroll back over and pick this one up. And we're going to build the same thing down the other side of this. Like that. And instead of, let me see, I gotta find the bottom edge of this. course, I'm trying to find that one shot now, and it's eluding me. Okay, sorry about that. I couldn't find my screenshot that I needed. So this piece over here is going to be half the width of the one that's on the opposite side. So this one's going to sit in here just like this. And then we're going to put in 2 of these long, tiny, thin terrain blocks like this. And that's what we have on this side. Okay, and now that we have that, we can come back over here and pick this up to get back to that part of the terrain drawer. And we can cap the end of this on each of those 2 levels. Over here, though, we have to do that one and that one. And then put one of these on the ends like that. And actually, what I want to do with this one is put this round one on like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do is come over here, and before we put these down, well, let's just go ahead and put it down since we're right here. This one's going to sit right on that corner, just like that. And then we need this piece behind it, like this. And then I'm going to take and put a longer piece about as far as I can before I hit that road, and put this piece on like that. And then on this end, I think I'm going to wait a moment until I can get the next set of blocks in up here. So now we'll come over on this end of the toy box, and let me pick up my screenshot for this. Okay, so it's taking me a while to find my screenshot. I got a ton of screenshots here, so it takes a while to get through them. But we're ready to keep building. So this first one's going to sit right here like this. And again, this is the top of the hill where the mines roll down. And then I'm going to scroll over here and pick up this terrain block. It's a 2x2. And we're going to put several of these in like this. And I don't really need the ones underneath here because the road covers that up. So we can save a little bit of memory. And then the next piece is going to sit in just like that. And this is the part that was confusing me a little bit, which is why I had to find my screenshot. And this is going to come right across like this. So just like that. And then we'll go ahead and fill in this gap here. All right, so there's the top of the hill for the mines. Now the next section, because this ramp doesn't go all the way down, we need a section of terrain underneath that. So we're going to grab this long flat terrain block, and we're going to put this in lined up with those 4 blocks right there like that. And then we can come and pick up this piece and put it right up underneath here at the edge of that ramp, and I can't go any further that way. And I'm going to end up putting a curve down over here, but before we do that, we got a couple more of these we want to put down. We're going to put this right in here like that. I'll make sure I don't have a gap under there. So that's got to sit like that. And we need 2 of these. Might need 3. Let's go ahead and put all 3 down. Okay. And now that we have that, we can go ahead and finish off this little section over here. So we'll pick this up, put it down, bring it in here, put this little corner in, like that, and then come back and pick up this piece, and I'm going to put this in like that, just like so. Okay, so that looks really good. And then over on this corner, we'll put in this curve, kind of finish that section off really nice. Put a nice front on this, like that. This one we can put in over here. Like that. And then I'm going to pick this piece up and put it down. And we're just going to go ahead and put in another piece up here like that. And I'll finish that off in a moment. But we'll come back over here, pick this piece up and put it down. And then we're going to grab this short canyon curve. We're going to put in a little section of, actually not that one, sorry. Let me pick that up. The next size bigger was what I wanted. This one. So we'll put that one in there like that. Grab a section of rock. And we can put this one in like that. That helps that not be quite so square. And again, coming from this direction, you'll be coming down around the corner. You're not going to see this hole, so I'm not going to bother filling that. We're going to hide it in other ways. Now, on this end, make sure I get this correct. Yeah. Okay, so on this end, what we're going to do is I'm going to pick this piece up and put it down, and we're going to grab the next size smaller. Put that over here. Oops, sorry. I don't mean to be spinning the camera around that much. And then we'll put the wide one over here like this, which covers up the gap underneath the track. And there we go. So that's our ramp coming down on this side. And then we've got this nice curvy thing. And we start the path going up to the volcano. So to begin this, we're going to need one of these curved sections. And the largest one is the one that we need. That's the one that fits the curve of the road. And actually, no, I take that back. It is the next size smaller that we need. And you can see that fits in right there against those blocks on the left. So that is our curve around that section of track. And then we'll pick up this curve on the opposite side of the track, like this. The next size smaller, place over here. And we'll worry about filling in that little gap there in a moment. Okay, so now let's go ahead and build the steps going up to the volcano, and I'm going to pick this piece up and put it down, and that gets me back in this part of the drawer. And I'm looking for this kind of a tall piece here. I'm going to bring this right up against the road, just like that. And actually, take that back. We're going to use this smaller one first. I'm trying to line this up. There we go, with that edge. Okay, and now we'll put the larger one back here. So we're kind of building a little stair step going up to the volcano and also hiding the gap underneath the terrain there. And now that we've done that, we can plug some of these holes. So I can pick this up, put it down. And we can put this in like that. We'll need a couple of these smaller pieces over here to fill in that gap. That takes care of that side. And then, because now we have this kind of an ugly side over here, we'll cover that up with this longer section. Like that. And we don't need to go all the way over because the player's never going to see that. They're going to be looking down the road here. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. And I'm going to come back and build the top part of this hill later. Before we move on to the volcano, let's go ahead and finish up this little section over here. And so I will grab my screenshot here. And we're going to put down one of these just to kind of soften the edge of this a little bit. So we'll do that. And that. So that'll look a little bit nicer. And again, I don't need to worry about the back side of this because the player's not likely to see that. Okay, that's looking really, really good. And then over on this side, go ahead and put a couple of nice canyon walls over here. Like that. And that gets us up to the volcano. And this is where things get interesting. Okay, so for the volcano, normally when I've built this in the past, I've started around the rim. But since we're coming from this direction, we'll begin over here. And the first thing we're going to do is put down another one of these large blocks like this. And it's lined up right with the edge of that road. And at this point, we're going to change the texture. Because at the volcano, the ground is typically charred and burned out. It's just rock. And the closest thing I've got to that looks right to me is the dragon's domain. So I'll use that to set the theme. That has kind of a dismal, dingy look when you look at it next to the rest of the textures. And then we're going to put one of these right over here underneath, just like this. And you'll notice I am not taking it out all the way. It doesn't need to go that far. All right. And then we are going to use a number of these long, tiny, tall blocks. And I need a row of these because I need this to line up with the rim of the volcano. So we're going to put in quite a few of these. I need 4 here. And then on the other side, kind of need 2 more. Like that. And then we'll come back and pick up this block again. Okay, and we'll line up that block like that. And I'm going to put a few of these across, and I may end up deleting some of these if they end up getting covered by other blocks. Okay, and then the next size larger, we're going to sit that right over here next to that ramp, just like this. And you'll notice that's sticking off the edge over here. It's sticking out that way, and that's fine. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side of the ramp. So it needs to sit in there just like that. Okay? And again, that covers up the hole underneath that ramp going down into the lava. And then we'll put one more of these blocks over here like this. All right, now at this point, we can go ahead and start building the wall around the canyon, around the crater. So I'm going to pick this piece up and put it down. And we're going to start over on this side with this piece. And I'm only going halfway down because we're going to have some lava under here. So this first piece goes like that. And then we're going to put in the next piece over here, followed by two of those narrow pieces. And then we're going to put in the curve. And I want the curve piece that's going to follow the curve of the road. And it's going to be the smallest one. So just like that. And then at this point, we're going to mirror what we've done. So that piece sits under there with the same amount of road hanging off the end on either side. And then once again, the small curve. Like that. And then once again, the same blocks in reverse order that we put them down before. So 1, 2, and then the next size larger, and then the next size larger, which gets us there. All right. And then we'll come back over and pick up the curve. And I'm getting it lined up with that piece, but it needs, of course, to go over here. Like that. Okay, and there is the crater for the volcano. So that looks pretty good. I like how that turns out. Okay, so for the volcano, before we put the lava in, I had to review something. And this is actually the wrong block. I don't need the tall one. I need the shorter one. Because the lava needs to go underneath that. And so I'm going to replace those 3 blocks with the one that's a little bit shorter. So that one and that one. And again, that's important because the lava needs to go underneath here. And I won't be able to put it where I need to if I have that large block under there. So we'll come up to the blocks drawer, and I'm going to use this massive lava block. I'm going to line this up with the edge of the road and the seam there that you see on those road pieces. So you can see the left edge of the lava block is lined up with that middle piece. And so that's going to sit in here, down below, just like that. Okay? And then we need to put 3 of these down like that. And you might be wondering why I did it this way. If you remember during the race, I had just the lava here initially when you drove through, and then I had some eruptions. And my original thought was on the third pass to have the lava going up and down. And so this path through the volcano would actually be flooded part of the time. And that works. If the AI cars drive onto the lava when it's up above the surface of the road, and that's why I've got it underneath here so much, is so that it's flooding the bottom part of that road. The AI cars work okay with that. They work as you would expect. As soon as they touch the lava, they die, and they just respawn up here at the start of that track down there. And when the lava goes down, that gives them a chance to go across. The problem that I had with that, though, was that the lava is going to be going up and down and up and down. And right now it only goes down just below the surface of the road. So there's not enough time to get across there before the lava would start going back up. And I could put a time delayer in there to kind of prevent that, give you time to get across. I didn't really like how that worked because it just didn't feel natural. And so another idea that I tried was having the lava go down further, and I built up like kind of a terrain ramp underneath that road so that you could kind of be above the lava a bit. But as you're going across the road, you can't really tell easily with everything else going on where that lava level is. And you certainly can't tell where the lava is, where it's going up and down, before you have to get to this intersection and make your choice. So by the time you commit to that left-hand path and you head down that slope, you might notice at that point the lava's on its way up, but it's too late to make any correction at that point. And so that's why I kind of ended up not doing that. I do have in my original toy box that I built, I've got all of the lava blocks connected to paths. And it does work. But again, it just didn't feel right. And so I left that part of it out. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to bring the lava over to the edge of the road like this. And I left the lava blocks placed where they are. Anyway, just in case I want to go back at some point and experiment with it and try to get it to work the way I envision. But for right now, that's the way I have it. So I just have the plain lava on the first drive-through and then the eruptions on the second part of it. And for the erupting lava blocks, all you need to do is use this erupting block, and you can place these under here anywhere you'd like. Doesn't really matter. Since this is all open underneath here, I would recommend, though, putting them down towards this end of the track, just so that the player has a chance when they come down the ramp over there to steer around them and avoid them a little bit. And I put 3 of them in. You can put in however many you want, but that's where I put my lava blocks. So there is our volcano. And just because you can't see the lava when you're coming up this path over here and up to the top, and you can't see the lava till you're right on the rim, I decided to stick Syndrome's volcano from Toy Box Takeover up here on the top. And so under the set pieces, if you have Toy Box Takeover, that would be up here. And of course, I probably should have gone the other way. There it is. So Syndrome's volcano can sit right in here. This takes up a chunk of memory, but if you turn it with the lava coming out like that, it gives the player a pretty good view of what's going on. And I'm going to try to place this. I don't want to put it right up close to the road because they need to be able to see around that corner as they're going. And I found that's typically pretty decent right there. And you'll notice the memory took a bit of a jump on the right there, but I think that's worthwhile because that looks really good then as you're coming up the ramp. You can tell, oh, there's a volcano here, even before you see the lava in the crater. So I like that. And then on this side, we're going to go ahead and pick this piece up, put it down, and we'll continue building over here. And again, we're going to kind of mirror what we had on the other side. So like that. And then we can put this larger piece in here like this. And plug this gap over here. Like that. So there's the road going around the rim. And then because it looks kind of weird just looking off over at the beach from up here, I decided to put a railing around the top of this. You can hear the volcano erupting there. Okay, so to put down the barrier on the other side, we'll start with this large short canyon curve. And I'm going to put this right in here. I'm going to line it up initially with the edge of that road like this, but I'm going to push it back about 1 block like that. And again, that gives the player a little bit of space to get around this turn. And then we'll put the large piece here. You'll notice though that puts it right up against that road, and I kind of like it a block over. So that means we'll need a little spacer in here. Like that. And then I had originally had this coming around like this, but it kind of became a problem. I was running into the corner of that as I was taking that turn. And so rather than do that, what I ended up doing is just putting this across the back. Like this. And like that. And we can go ahead and just put down a piece of terrain over here, like that. And we don't really need to go too far with that. We should probably go a little bit further, though. The player's not going to be looking too far over that direction as they come around this corner. So as long as that's kind of closed off, they're going to come around this corner looking off this direction. So we don't have to close that off entirely that way. All right, and there is the volcano. So that looks pretty decent. So then coming back over to this side, let's go ahead and pick this piece up and put it down. And we'll go back over to the tall piece again. And we're going to put down one of these here like this. And a piece across there like that. Okay. And we could put down another one here. We might need to, like that. Okay. And then on this side, now that we're coming off the volcano, we'll go back to our tri-state area theme. I'll set that to be my theme. Da, 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 da. There it goes. That was weird that it took so long. And then we're going to put down another one of these over here on this side of the road like that. And so we've got kind of a ramp coming down out of that canyon. So that's good. All right, we're not going to get too much more done today, but I do want to finish up just a little bit. So if we come around this direction, we have this original terrain block that we started with. And with what we have built now I know where to move this. So we're going to pick it up and slide it right over here, like that. And I'm going to go ahead and change the theme. And we're going to use Mickey's Farmland. Let's see, that one. Mickey's Fantastic Farmstead. I'll set that to be the theme. And again, you'll notice the memory meter on the right. I'm not doing too bad right now, but I'm a third of the way full, and right now all I've got is racetrack and terrain. And I still have some more terrain to put down. So with a toy box this large, you are not going to be able to fill all of the space with trees and different things. And so you got to be kind of creative about how you use the space. And so what I'm doing here is I'm creating kind of a field, and I'm using the terrain textures to do that. I'm not going to actually put anything on that terrain. The textures kind of suggest that maybe that's a field where some things are planted. And so that's the purpose of that. And then as we get back to the section here that's underneath the road, we'll go ahead and set the theme back to Mickey's, or back to the Phineas and Ferb theme. Tri-state area. Okay. And then we'll just go ahead and fill in along here. And I'm actually going to skip that section back there. We're going to come up here and put this one in like that. And let's see where... Actually, that is not the one I needed. Sorry. I was wondering why that didn't look right. It's because I needed this one in here. So then we need to take this out, put in another one of these. And I'm going to pick this piece up, and we're actually going to go and use the smaller piece, I think. The shorter piece. I think that would look better. So we have that. We've got that, and that is looking correct now. And then we're going to put this piece over here like this, lined up with that other terrain piece, just like that. So that looks good. And then we'll put this piece under there, like that. And another one of these along here like this. Like that. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, this piece here is not quite lined up right. Needs to go like that. Okay. And we'll put the finishing touches on that next time. It's starting to get kind of late here, so I don't want to do too much more. Let's go ahead and pick this up, put it down, and I'm going to leave a gap between these two paths. So this block here is going to go right underneath that road and kind of create a hole like that. And actually that one, sorry, we're going to use the larger piece and put that in. Fill it all the way across, like that. Okay, so that's starting to come together, but we're running out of time. I'm over on time, actually. So we'll finish off the last part of this terrain next time, this corner here and over there. And then we'll go ahead and start putting in all the decorations and trees and everything, and hopefully finish the build exercise next time. So go ahead and subscribe to my channel by clicking my photo in the lower right corner, and you can find more of my toy boxes by checking out my blog or the playlists on my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching my video today. Have a great weekend.